to infinity and beyond.
What's up, everybody? It's Roger and James here with Infinity and Beyond, your video game podcast from DisKingdom and DisGaming.com. In this episode, we're going to be talking about a brand new mobile game which is on soft launch currently in Australia called Star Wars Rivals. Set to be released pretty soon, pretty much everywhere else. This is kind of like a shooting game, but it's kind of done from over the shoulder. I'll just give you a little bit of information on it before we get going too much further. You get to confront your rivals in a real-time Star Wars competitive action shooter designed specifically for your mobile devices. Choose from iconic characters that span all eras of the Star Wars universe while mastering your skills in a cover-based P versus P skirmish. Build the ultimate combat team, anticipate your opponent's strategy, and leverage your surroundings to gain the upper hand. Battles are fought both in single-player campaign scenarios and real-time P versus P battles. Take aim, fire, and obliterate the competition. You've got characters here from the old set, or sort of the original. So you've got Luke Skywalker, Darth Vader. You've also got like Boba Fett. You've also got Rey, Finn, etc. in here as well. Got Grand Moff Tarkin, Boba Fett. So overall, from what I've seen from the pictures and stuff, I don't suppose have you had a chance to download this one? I tried, couldn't get around it.
I did actually download the APK for Android, and I was able to install it. So I do like that I can kind of do that with APKs, but sometimes you can get with the iPhones as well. I did get to play it, and it's not going to convince me that shooters are really meant to be played on mobile, because you need a proper controller for shooter games, but it does do a decent job of it. You move by swiping left and right, go between cover positions, and then aiming is done with a virtual joypad. So it's okay, and then you just rather than like rapidly tapping stuff, you just hit the shoot button and it'll just keep shooting and so forth. It's perfectly fine. It's not going to, like I said, change my mind on shooters on mobile platforms, but for what it is, it's decent. It's clearly focused on PvP. So if you really wanted a mobile PvP shooting game, this might scratch the itch.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. And kind of, again, seems to be that Star Wars have kind of following that Marvel lead of having different content for different games for different genres. So this is very much feeling like that fills that void of being a shooting game that's available. It's good that they got the different characters and stuff in there. I think the trouble is, it's probably bad, and there's no way in how they can actually compete with it. But because of looking at how like Star Wars Battlefront 2 looked at E3 and how well Star Wars Battlefront is, I think from our point of view, we're looking at this and it feels like a massive downgrade, because we're used to probably the top end console version of this kind of game. Whereas maybe if you're a casual player that don't play like console games, this will feel alright. I think that's where the issue is for this.
Yeah, it's really a matter of expectations versus reality. And if you're going in expecting a full console or PC experience, then you're going to be very disappointed. But if you go in and you're just like, I'm going to shoot some stormtroopers in the single player, or maybe I'll hop on and get shot a lot by other people online, it's decent. We're back to loot crates to unlock characters, and it's going to be very grindy to get your characters. You do get a couple right out the door. I think you get Poe and Luke and all these guys, but at the very least, it's free. Give it a try. There is some single player content, so you can try it out before going online and getting your butt kicked by people who spent way too much money on the game.
Yeah, definitely. It's definitely something I want to try out and stuff. I am getting to that point where my phone and my iPad are bulging. Every time an app comes out, I have to delete another game. And I was even looking at like Android, just getting an Android tablet on, just to fill up with some games, so I can kind of keep up with some of the stuff that's going on with them. But it does look good. I like the fact that Star Wars are going down this line of offering, so like Puzzle Quest. And then you're going to have, puzzle droids. Then you've got the shooting, and then you've kind of got the sort of the card-based ones and the turn-based. It's different kind of content. It's going to be interesting to see how this one gets taken. I think when it goes global? Because obviously at the minute it's a soft launch. I mean, soft launches like Force Arena, that even had a rename and a rebranding when it went global. I've also seen some like Disney games stuck in soft launch for 4, 5, 6 months, and then Lightning League was like 2, 3 days. You don't know when this one could drop. I hope it's pretty soon, because I think in some ways, it sounds like it's pretty much good to go.
Ed, I had a perfectly smooth experience. I didn't really try the multiplayer very much. And since the soft launch is in Australia, I think my multiplayer experience wouldn't be a good indicator of how it really would be, because that's literally the other side of the world for me. It's as far away as I could possibly get. I think the one thing that I would really like, not necessarily for this game, but in general with the Star Wars mobile franchises, is can we get some more single-player content games? Because the last several releases have been very heavy emphasis on multiplayer between Rivals, Force Arena,
Galaxy of Heroes.
Galaxy of Heroes. I mean, Galaxy of Heroes has a robust single player, but again, there's a lot of emphasis on arena play and so forth. So, but it would be nice, and I know that the last like purely single player game that they had, what was it, Underworld or it was the action RPG game, which its name's totally escaping me at the moment. Uprising, right. Obviously, that got delisted, it's been about a year now. But, so obviously, the multiplayer games do better. There's a lot more incentive for you to spend money, which is what Disney wants. But as a gamer, I would like to have that single-player experience coming my way, too.
I think the thing is with the P versus P is that, therefore, it's never-ending. You just constantly keep doing it. And I think the trouble is with the single-player campaigns is they typically have an ending, and with mobile games, they don't. I always feel like with these mobile games, it is very much a case of we want you to play this until you either delete the app or just keep spending. And I think most of the time they have that kind of peak, and then they kind of either keep going down in events. I'm hoping in some ways that if this just comes out now, it can have a boost up then when each movie comes up, because I have a feeling that they are trying to kind of make sure that they've kind of got each genre of mobile games, there's something for that person looking for that kind of game. But also, I think they would love nothing more than a Star Wars fan that then has 5 different games that are completely different installed on them, all spending money. So I'm like I said, I'm going to hold off. I've got no judgment on it. I've only literally looked at the screenshots, which look very nice. So I'm going to have to try and hopefully it will come out pretty soon. But for your first impression, seemed quite good with it, really.
Yeah, I mean, if multiplayer shooter mobile version is what you're looking for with decent controls, you don't have to control both the character and your aiming reticle at the same time. We're not back in N64 days or whatever. It's about as good a shooter as you're going to get on a mobile platform. And if you do enjoy using the virtual joystick or whatever, then does a perfectly good job of it.
Yeah, I know this week they Sega launched their Sega Forever game thing, and I downloaded Sonic the Hedgehog and Kid Chameleon to try out, and Sonic worked very well with the because they basically just turned the button until you tap to jump, and that was but the Kid Chameleon one with the buttons on the screen, and it was so it was juttering and just really struggling, and it's that thing of at that point it was just delete, because if the controls aren't right, these kind of games just do not work.
And the lack of a tactile feedback with a virtual joystick, I can't use it, because my thumb will drift over to the right, and now when I'm tapping forward, now I'm going diagonal or whatever, and because you don't know where your position is. If you've got a PlayStation controller or an Xbox controller, then it resets to normal, and you can feel exactly where it is with your thumb. So
if only they put this on the Switch, with proper buttons and controller, that would as an alternative to Battlefront. But nevertheless, that's an entirely different product. But no, Star Wars Rivals could be hitting a galaxy far away very, very soon, but it's currently on soft launch. Just looking here, you've got different environments such as Takadana, Jakku, B-Spin, so you've kind of got some B-Spin. You can be Jedi, you can team up with characters from different eras. There's going to be daily rivals where and there's also a weekly leaderboard as well, where you can unlock rare characters and loot crates. Again, loot crates, which we're going to be talking about this week as well. But yeah, so definitely interesting to see what it is. We'd love to know your thoughts on Star Wars Rivals. Are you going to download it when it comes out? And on that note, guys, remember to check us out over at DisKingdom.com, also at DisKingdom.com. We're currently running a competition in June where we're giving away a copy of Cars 3 Driven to Win, and the winner gets to choose which platform they want it on, such as Xbox One, PlayStation 4, Switch. Even if you wanted a PS3 or a Wii U version, I think that's out. That game's out on that as well. James, where can they find you?
HeroicLegacy.com.
HeroicLegacy.com. And on that note, guys, so thank you very much for watching, and we shall see you guys soon. Laters. Bye.
Later.